Your unique story, our global audience. Global One Media.
Welcome to Stocks to Watch from Global One Media, a series of exclusive interviews with senior leaders of public companies to help you make informed investment decisions. I'm your host, Michelle Martin. Today we feature Tokens.com, a publicly listed company that works with businesses to unlock the potential of Web3. They trade on the CBOE in Toronto, Canada as Coin, in the US on the OTCQB as SMURF, and on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange as 76M. Token.com's common shares provide an access point for public investors who want exposure to key aspects of a decentralized world. Today we focus on the group's services, helping businesses unlock return potentials across the metaverse. Time to welcome Andrew Kiguel, co-founder and CEO of Tokens.com. How are you, Andrew?
I'm good. Thank you for having us, Michelle.
Great to speak with you. Also joining us is Lorne Sugarman, CEO of Metaverse Group. Fantastic to meet you, Lorne.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Andrew, I'm going to come to you first. Tokens.com has acquired Metaverse Group. Help us understand how Metaverse Group helps brands engage with a demographic that's expected to change e-commerce. It's really gaining traction, this idea of Generation Zalphas or internet natives, shall we say.
Yeah, so Tokens.com is the parent company to several companies. I believe in the past we've chatted about Hulk Labs. And Metaverse Group is another one of our portfolio companies that's been led by Lauren, who's on the call. And really the thesis there is that e-commerce hasn't changed very much in the last 20 years. And with these new 3D environments that are coming across, there's going to be these really great opportunities for brands to engage with customers in very new ways that are actually going to be more immersive and more engaging for them.
And more frictionless, I understand as well. How will this company drive engagement? Can you give us some insight there?
Yeah, I'll turn that over to Lauren as sort of the expert in that area.
Yes. So what we're doing or what we've been creating is exceptional, what I'll call immersive experiences. And so those experiences bring people to the table because it's kind of like a game. It's fun. You want to play, you want to use it, you want to collect NFTs, you want to create wearables for your avatars, all those types of things, and that drives people to go and play it. A great example is we recently did something for DKNY in the most recent Metaverse Fashion Week. And we had 3 different giveaways, 3 different free NFTs that were given away to those people that participated and went through the different levels of the store. And there was a whole bunch of fun little games to play with. And we sold all those out in a very rapid time because it was fun and it was engaging. And so that's how we drive people to use our experiences.
You know, the traditional way of online shopping is sort of this Amazon model, which is 2-dimensional and you have sort of items lined up.
Yep.
We've been highly successful in creating virtual storefronts in 3D environments for various clients, DKNY, Forever 21, amongst a whole bunch of others, where you can go in and actually experience the brand in a whole different way. You can buy NFTs, you can try things on, there's collectibles, you have ways to going back to the company's website. It's just a way of building that brand loyalty and finding new ways to sort of reach that consumer.
Lauren, can you help us understand who some of these businesses are that are keen to work with you? We've heard DKNY, Forever 21, I understand is also on the client list. What drives a brand to want to collaborate with Metaverse Group?
So a great example of that, or another great example would be KB Home. So KB Home is the U.S.'s 7th largest home builder. Their typical demographic is, the first-time home buyer, call it 25 to 40 years of age. But they want to broaden that and they want to educate their consumer, their user, much earlier on. And they find that they can't get at that demographic. It's more difficult. So they created a really unique experience with us where we had what's called a non-player character. Lynn was her name, that greeted everyone at a sales center, just like a traditional, physical world experience, and she would greet you. She would tell you about KB Home. There was a little video that gave you information about KB Home, and then you had 3 different homes behind that you could walk through, and they were just like again traditional physical world model homes. You'd walk in; there were different styles, different frontage. You could even change what the front looked like, and then you could walk inside, and if you wanted to, you could change the countertops, you could change the cabinetry, the floors. Again, full customization, just like if you were buying your first time home from KB Home. And that was the whole concept. And the reason they did that was so that people could get at people that typically didn't participate with them, that weren't necessarily KB Home consumers, but they wanted to, especially that younger generation that was moving into that first time home building capability, as well as they wanted the ability, if I'm sitting here somewhere where they don't have a KB Home sales center, but I knew I was moving to another location in the United States, as an example, it was a great way for me to go and actually customize the home that I wanted and have that ability. And then I could walk into a local sales center when I had a chance to be there. So that's just one example of it. But I think what really resonates with most of our consumers, and Forever 21 is a younger demographic, or most of our customers, is that ability to get at that demographic that they can't. And whether that demographic is a younger demographic that isn't spending time watching TV anymore or getting traditional ads, or whether that demographic is a gamer who, again, isn't necessarily using traditional media and is looking at different media, it's a unique way for us to give to show or to get those consumers to participate in those different experiences.
So a unique way to access greater reach. Andrew, I want to come to you. Which industries seem most keen to participate in the metaverse? I understand you've done work across various industries: education, social media, healthcare. Help us understand who seems most keen to step into this world.
Yeah, that's a great question, Michelle. So we can walk through a few. Obviously, real estate is a great one because real estate poses some geographic limitations. If you want to see something that's not necessarily geographically proximate, you can use things like 3D twins to visit those things and see what they look like right off your computer. Gaming is another huge one. Obviously, there's a whole swath of games that are moving from what I would call Web 2 to Web 3, which is the ability to sort of have ownership in the game through NFTs and actually earn money. Education. Think about this, and it's not just for kids, but one thing we noticed during the COVID lockdowns is that there was so much people having to learn remote. If you could conduct this educational services through 3D environments where you can have a professor or a teacher interacting with students and something that's more than 2-dimensional, I think that would greatly enhance the ability to learn and the interest level from kids. So there's various industries. Social media. We've seen the biggest pivot of strategy by a company in history when Facebook converted themselves to a company called Meta. Now, the success of the strategy is a different topic. However, I think what they see there is some of the same things that we see, which is this transformation of social media, and that kids no longer want to interact in these 2-dimensional, just photographs. What they're really looking forward is to meet their friends in these 3-dimensional worlds where they can interact, share information, watch concerts together. And that's something we're really interested in. We're keeping an eye on all of this because really it's revolutionary in terms of how the internet is used. And for some of the older generation, they don't see that. But I can tell you for the younger generation, this is how they shop, this is how they socialize, this is how they learn. And so it's really big for us to be there.
I want to pick up on that theme. Lorne, help us see what we aren't seeing yet. Looking ahead, I understand the Metaverse Group is keen on developing games and experiences on diverse platforms like Roblox, Spatial, Sandbox. Can you talk more about these plans and how you see them fitting into the broader vision for the company?
Yeah, so great question as well. We are really excited about all these different platforms, and each of these platforms bring different things to the table. So going to Roblox, where we're in the process of completing several different games for our branded clients, it has over 65 million daily users. It's got a demographic of 14 to 24 years of age. predominantly, or not predominantly, it's about 40% female, so a good female population as well as a good male population. So really great demographic for many brands to get at. Some brands are selling into that consumer market. Some brands are looking to that consumer as a future customer, and we really use those different platforms, or apply those different platforms to whatever the brand strategies are. So we take a seat back, we look at that and say, you know what? There is no right answer for anyone. There are better answers depending on who you are and what you're trying to accomplish with your brand. And so that's Roblox is one example. Fortnite is another great example. Obviously, a first game shooter, more of a male demographic. Another huge platform with significant daily users. That might be for a different type of product than you would do on Roblox, where it might be more of a toy-based product, or Forever 21 is a great example. They've sold significant numbers of wearables on that platform because that demographic fits really nicely. Whereas Fortnite might be for better things. Maybe it's for concerts where you get that older demographic. And so there's been multiple concerts, for example, on Fortnite. And so we've thought about it as we're going to use the platform that is best for the brands and customers that are coming to us. And we're going to create sticky gaming experiences where people want to come back over and over again. And you get repeat visitors that ultimately really love participating on these different platforms.
I think it's so interesting to hear about these lived experiences of hyper customization. There have been great leaps made in developing immersive digital tech. Andrew, I want to come to you for this question. Apple's Vision Pro headset comes to mind, I think, for a lot of investors on this theme. What do you think about how the headset could impact the way Metaverse Group approaches building experiences?
Yeah, so we're really excited about that, and we're developing the capabilities to build apps and games for that product. And I think what's most exciting about it is if you look at the history of Apple, what they have been most successful at doing is taking new technology and making it available to the mainstream in a way that's easy to use. So we saw that with things like phones, iPads, music. Almost every realm they've had their fingers on and have been able to create something that is easy for the mainstream to use. The challenge often for the metaverse in the past has been the types of hardware that were available, battery life, things like that. And so what we're excited about this is we think this is a leap in technology and usability and an access that's going to be super positive for all the things that we're doing.
I wish you could tell us a little bit more about what's in store, but I'm sure that's all embargoed. And I hope you'll give us first scoop on that when you can. Lorne, how could AI and the proliferation of free 3D assets really change the landscape, particularly for e-commerce?
And so I'm actually going to pick up a little bit on what Andrew was saying and take it a little bit further on the Vision Pro piece as we talk through this. So AI is great because today, as we all know, on the internet, you predominantly have 2D images. And so we're not quite there yet, but we're getting pretty close with some of the apps I've seen recently. And I genuinely believe in the next 2 to 3 months that quickly, we're going to be able to take these 2D images and create 3D images for virtually free, 0 cents on the dollar. And so I ultimately believe, and we believe at Tokens and Metaverse Group, that everyone is going to want 3D assets, whether it's on their website, whether it's one of these gaming platforms that we've talked about, because it really drives a much more immersive and integrated and interactive experience. And so that's the first step. And so as we've seen, e-commerce hasn't really changed in 20 years, and no disrespect to Amazon and others, Shopify, et cetera. They've done an amazing job where we all love to scroll through and pick the products. Amazon Prime Day just happened. We were all shopping, I'm sure. But wouldn't it be much more fun if you could actually see a 3D immersive experience where I could actually click on that product? I can try it on myself. So if it's an apparel piece product or even a pair of glasses, pair of shoes, et cetera, and actually really physically try them on, and ultimately then actually buy that in that immersive integrated experience. That is how we see the next version of e-commerce happening. And we're currently building an application that will work with Vision Pro, whereby you'll be able to do in a virtually immersive experience, in a VR experience. And whether that's, walking through a physical store and you don't want to try on that shirt or you don't want to try on those pair of pants. You will be able to try that on physically or virtually, better said, instead of going into the trying room, and purchase it there instead of standing in the line at the cash register. And that's where we see the future of e-commerce clearly happening. Really exciting times. We're obviously early days. I get very passionate about this, but really excited about it.
So it's going to be even easier to shop and a lot more fun as well. It sounds great to me. Time for my final two questions. The first comes to you, Lorne. What should investors trying to figure out the potential impact of the metaverse keep in mind about what the Metaverse Group is enabling in this space?
Yes. So I think what's really, really important is we're not building a platform, whereas I think we talked about earlier, we're platform agnostic. So we're not focused on any one platform. That gives us a great capability to choose different platforms that are popular and make sense. And so I think for investors, they should see us as a company that is really building these immersive and integrated games and experiences that there already exist. It's already out there. And we just are taking that technology and using it and applying it to create amazing branded games for people. And as we learn more, and e-commerce is one example of a future product, as we learn more and see what consumers are looking for, we're going to be able to build amazing products that consumers want. And so we're really excited about the future.
Great insights. Andrew, final question to you. What makes tokens.com a sound investment in this fast evolving digital economy?
Yeah, so we are a unique company in that we hold assets. So for example, within Metaverse Group, we own a lot of digital land represented through NFTs. We also own a lot of cryptocurrencies, primarily Ethereum tokens, and we're earning interest off that. But what makes us different is that we also have these operating businesses on top of that. So as Lauren mentioned, we have Metaverse Group, which has had dozens of clients that we're helping to build their 3D experiences. And while those are linked to what's happening in the crypto world, the operations really are not having anything to do with the price performance of crypto. The same thing on the gaming side, Hulk, where we're building our own internal games and data analytics. All of our things are really leveraging from this conversion to Web3. We own assets and businesses that are sort of leveraging on this monumental growth that's happening. And I think that's very unique in the public markets right now.
So not just helping a company build their experience in the metaverse, but owning that experience as well, given that you own land in the metaverse.
Correct.
It's been fascinating, really, to hear about how a business can bring to life their brand in the metaverse and all these solutions that are available to help them unlock the value of metaverse architecture. I've been speaking with Lorne Sugarman, CEO of the Metaverse Group, and Andrew Kiguel, co-founder and CEO of tokens.com. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.